Well, hello, and good morning. This is Julie with the Jewel Design, and it is a happy Saturday. Yay! Alright, I have the heater on because it is freezing. Well, freezing for us Cali girls. We so can't handle cold. Unless we live in like Sierra Nevadas or like we live in cold where we expect snow. Those of us closer to the bay don't know what to do with cold weather. Oh, goodness. I don't know. It's all over the board. We're hitting 70 during the day. But we are, low 40s, high 30s in the morning, and my workspace is like a freaking cold box sometimes. Ugh. Though it was nice. I had doors open yesterday afternoon and can let the heat in, so I was so stoked. But so many things. I have my cold coffee because I know I'm talking to you guys, so warm coffee would just end up cold, so I started there. But that means I definitely need the heater going this morning. So hopefully you have your favorite drink, you have your heater or your warm space, your little maybe fire going somewhere nearby, I hope, and you're in your favorite space that makes you happy this Saturday morning. We are back to the Garden Stroll, our Folio Secretarial piece. I got new stuff. I'll show you guys as we finish some ephemera and sticking it in. All panels are covered. We have all of our lace. I did a little decorating inside. But today I realized that I have no ephemera yet for this kit or for this project. And though there is ephemera in the digitals that you can print, I don't have it printed at this time. So I figured I would make ephemera for the interactive side, right? For this side that has all of its pockets and envelopes and fun things. And then, depending on what was left over and what we decided to do here, I'll go look to see if I have anything hiding for this kit or close to it to put in the journal itself. So we'll do the old school corners and all the fun pockets and tucks that usually come with the kit. I'll put in the journal, but we're going to make some ephemera to go in the more interactive side, right? So really stoked about that. So what we're doing is using leftover scraps, right? Scraps that are left over, plus the pages that I did not use. So I had some pages when I started this project and was going to just cover it up. And then I had some issues and I was trying to get pages I didn't have and ended up printing too much. And so printing odd things. So it's how we ended up with not just things to cover the panels, but how we ended up with a full journal. I ended up going, okay, well, I've got almost there and I had to reprint this. And so I just went, oh, forget it. So printed everything I needed for the journal and have plenty of pages for the paneling. And so I have a few pages left over, which are going to be perfect because they are somewhat decorative and they're going to allow us to back packaging. So the stuff you get from your favorite stores, things you get that come in from, whatever, like these are the Craft Square, them Dollar Trees. I love the marbled. I love the, I have another one, sort of the lovely textured of one side, right? This is the side you see the product on. But the back side and the top, of course, you can't use. So perfect. We can write on this side. We'll cover up or cut off the top and put the papers on the white side that has, of course, the scanner on it, right? So we can't use this side. I can't even show this side. I mean, you could. It could be sort of fun. But you were working on a certain project, actually a scan bar, whatever icon would be fun. But we're going to cover this side, utilize this, cover up what we need to. These are going to make tags, so we're going to actually cut it right here. And I have scraps from when we did our envelope sides to use, right? Almost, exactly what we need, we can overlay and use. So that is sort of the project today. We're going to use a packaging and leftover pages, a few printed things, and some cardstock to get us some good size ephemera to go inside all these lovelies that we have tucked away. So now this one is one of our index card sheets because I have a pocket that's actually really thin. So I think we're going to cut out this flower. We're going to glue it onto here and do a little decor, and that would be a great, piece of ephemera ready to go. So that might be near the end because that's definitely a funner decorative piece. But again, scraps, figuring out how to utilize it. No, it's this part here I could put as a square on the bottom, in the middle. However, everything's going to get used again, but this scrap could get totally used again somewhere else to write on. There's really great pages in this kit that lend themselves to be easily, what's the word? Written on. So yeah, I have a lot of, packaging. This one, front or back, is really not all that great. So we're going to, because I wanted 2 pieces of paper that weren't enough, so I'm going to put this in between to give it a thicker journal card. since we have some decent pockets, and the fact that they are envelopes, so something a little thicker in there might help keep it from just crumbling, right? Too thin in there, and we got a prom, too big, it's a eh. So we're going to start off with the big tags that we are going to put in these back pockets. So we have 2 pockets back here, right? And I figured that these sort of went with the kit, a little bit more pink, which is great. So we're going to put 2 tags back here. And they're the perfect size, really. Once we cut this off, they're perfect. They're just the right weight. Like I said, if we feel that they fall out too much, we'll glue these down. But I think those are going to be a great addition to those pockets. So that's what we're going to work on first. So how are we all? Are we doing good? Are we enjoying our weeks? I did hear from one of you stating you went back and watched the videos as I was hoping, and to remember how I put this darling journal kit together, or this journal together. Which I'm really stoked to hear that worked. I'm so happy. Let's see. Pencil. I know, I'm always using these guys. Now here, I'm going to go from here down, and I don't know where the line is, so that's not going to do me any good. Never mind. So what I'm doing is trying to take the flattest spot right here, the corner where just before it curves, and going down to this line here. This is just creating this line on both sides, hoping that that is as middle as it should be. I'm hoping that they actually, in their mass production, actually, you know, actually did get it right in the middle to make our tabs. Usually we cut things, right? We cut, like I have a Starbucks card that now has all kinds of different sides. I have a really little one, a deep one. I have like 4 different corners that when I want to make tags, depending how deep I want to go, will match so that I'm not guessing. Gail's trick was if you cut one side, take that, what you clip, flip it over, put it on the other side and match it. And I still don't do well with it. I always seem to not turn it right. And so I get an okay. I still feel like it's wonky on my end. So I gave up on that. And I said, nope, I'm going to cut corners, cut those quarter pieces off of a gift card, and I'm going to do it that way. In this case, we are utilizing what's sort of already there, right? So there we go. Beautiful tag. Now, I may put a new hole punch in there. I haven't decided. This may just be a tag shape, and we're good to go. Now, if I want to make sure that they do match now, all I have to do is go back here with one and the other and match it. Ta-da! It's all good. But either way, I'm just utilizing the shapes that are there and the space that is there and working it. So, and since we don't want to see this is the only thing I have to cover on the writing side is the top. And like I said, we have these pieces that almost match. So I can lay it here, and then I could fold it up. And so I don't have to do too much cutting off this side. I do feel like it's a little off. I don't think it's it's almost a perfect shape. It's like up to a point right there, and then it shifts. So I'd have to trim it a little bit, but I only need down to here. So we might, I don't know what we'll do with that one. I might just put it here, decide what part I want, and then trim off the rest. I like sort of this little bit of flower here, and then I could just trim it off, which then still gives me an angled piece over here, which maybe we will do that. I think that makes the most sense. And I just put my eraser back in the house. Of course I did. At least my glues are out here this time. A little cold, but they're out here. I'm like, they're a little cold, but they're out here. Because some of these things do have a slight gloss, we will probably definitely be using the Fabri-Tac in some places. Especially on the front here, because there's a little bit of a gloss. I have a, what's the word? I do have a little bit of a sandpaper if I really wanted to maybe break that up a little bit to help it stick a little bit better. But the other side we can use glue stick because it's just a standard cardboard. Most of the backs of these are not as glossy. They're more paper. So it makes it easier to use. To glue, this onto the back side because, it's not so shiny. So it works. But we're just wait and see which side gets what. And then one has more pink, so I definitely think, and one is just a little bit more, they're both pretty pink. We'll have to see which one feels more pink. And I'll put a pink topper on the back, when the other one will just have the beigey blue concept. And we may do the same thing where I'm leaving myself a nice angled piece to work with. I have a feeling I'm going to have definitely I'm going to have to be a good girl and actually make a collaged and or weaved strip journal card. I haven't made one in a little while. I keep saying I'm going to. Oh my gosh, I have so many beige strips over there from one of our other projects. Oh, I think from the huge altered book that I have a huge amount of strips, and it's a little crazy. It really is about the amount I have, and but they're what we cut off. It's what we, things we had left over. Yeah, so it's all the variety. It's all of this stuff. It's all coffee dyed, and I don't know what else. But I have, again, right, I have packaging. Beautiful color. Love this antique taupey, I don't know, color. And you too. Oh, goodness gracious. I have this side I want to use, so we'll cover up this side with all of these strips. So that's going to be fun one of these days. Maybe we'll just have to do a weaved journal card day. Nice base to create with, right? So the next time I have a kit that I want, I know what to do with it. What are you guys doing? Oh, hold on one sec. I gotta see which cats are complaining with each other. Sorry about that. The littlest floofball, which she's probably a year or so older than the tuxedo. But, my goodness, she terrorizes a black and white, who's a good, probably 5 pounds heavier than she is. She's probably 10, 11 pounds. She's definitely a lot bigger than she was when we first got her. But she was barely 9 pounds when we got her 3 years ago. But she's been outside on her own. She had a second litter of kittens. Yeah, it's expected. But the tuxedo is probably, I'm afraid, he's easily 13 pounds. Easily. Right now he is. He'll thin out again in the summer. But, and my ginger definitely is 15 plus pounds. He's a big boy. Oh my goodness, poor guy. And he's active enough. He's out during the day. He's not like he just sits all day, but anyway, the little fluff ball, long-haired gray fluff ball, beautiful cat, terrorizes the black and white one, and then the black and white one gets upset, so then he goes and terrorizes the orange one, because the orange one's the oldest. You would think he'd be the senior pack member. No, it's like, oh, you're the old one. You must be the weak one, so we're going to attack you. We're all going to attack you. Poor guy. Okay, so what I'm thinking... we're going to do probably clean. I don't know whether to deco cut them, because we can't ink this. We need ink. We're going to go brown ink on these, because I think we're going to keep that vintage feel. I'm trying to decide if I want it to have a little bit of I mean, I only don't go to the edge of things sometimes, because I feel like if I can't get the glue down right, the edges come up, like I don't have control of it, right? So I think, hi bud, hi baby, are you okay? Yeah, he's rubbing up on my stuff. No, this one has to go all the way to the top. So the back we are covering to the top. We aren't stopping here. So that's going to be the fun part, trying to get a deco cut on something that is an angle, as we found out. So do I do the border thing, or do I take my chances, just glue it down and hope for the best? I don't know. We do have this brown here, which is I love, but it's not going to be brown all the way around. It's going to be to one side, because we, these pages are designed to be folded to put in the journal, not so much cut up. But I'm going to take a page out of my mother's book, and she uses everything, and I'm like, I just go, oh yeah, duh, just cut it out. Cut out the piece that you love to make a fussy cutout, or to, enhance. So, I mean, I could do it this way. There's very little brown showing on the edges, and we can keep inking it to make it fit. It'll give me some of my butterfly and the flower up here if I get up high enough. And it is up to the edge a little bit to where we do have room to decor. Now, a lot of these we're going to put together, and then once we put them in the pockets, it'll let me know where I can put the bulk of it on, because it's not going to get caught in the pocket. I love decorating down here, and then I realize, one, it's covered by the pocket, and two, it's hard to get it in and out. So I always try to remember, like, okay, decorate what's outside the pocket, so it's really pretty, and then it doesn't get caught in the pocket. So, I guess we could do one of each. I don't know. Let's see. Well, we're going to try it, people. Because I don't want to fuss with the possibility of that one just not really, I don't know, lining up right. We had that little bit of chaos with I did that with the last envelope. I did decide to not try to border the cut, and I pretty much went to the edge of it. I gave it a little bit on the sides and the top, but that part I want to make sure it was beautifully covered, and I didn't try to fussy with it like we did with the poor Christmas file folder cover. Which a lot of you seem to like. I really appreciate that. You guys did watch that. The 2026 prepping. Let's see. This is the corner. What I'm trying to do, which is maybe not my favorite thing to be doing right now. So, sorry guys. I'm going up to the light a little bit. Trying to see through to see where I think I want this. Okay, and then I'll make sure I sort of straighten it out a little bit. But I was trying to see where the brown edged marble ends. Hi, baby boy. I have a feeling we're about to have a... Right? There we go. Hi, can we help you? Can you say hello? My little tuxedo? Yes, can you say hi? You got stuff on your forehead. You don't, he's not a meower. Not, well, only when he's playing with his toys. Okay, bud. No, 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 no. Come here. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. Oh, I wish you were a lap kitty. You saw how big he was. Yeah, he's not a lap kitty. No, I know, bud. I am sorry. He thought he could see if he could get into something more crazy. Yes, silly boy. Was he okay? He's got a boob on the back of his shoulder. Both of them do. We have one cat that's really young, and we love him. And he's a neighborhood. He does belong to one of our neighbors, but he's young and he's feral. He's always been feral. Okay. Let's cut this and see what happens, right? Let's see. I mean, I do ink the the things we're covering usually just in case. We will ink, of course, the paper itself. You never know what's going to show through. But we have to do it pretty tight because, you know, we don't really want paper showing up on this side, but we don't want to cut it so short by accident that we can see the cardboard, which is why I ink it before I glue it, so that if for some reason the cut is weird and I cut in too far, we can, you know, it's inked and I can blend it in. Because you can't put it back on once you cut it off. It's a little hard. We just got, so we'll do, sometimes my cutting isn't great, but not too bad. Okay, so there we go. I didn't do too bad. I'm really happy with that. Okay, but see, there's the strips. There's the strips. They're starting. Okay, so even though we have this beautiful corner, and you never know what that could be used for. So I don't want to get rid of that. And I'm hoping we'll have some flour up there too. Alright, so here it is. We're definitely going to have to ink it. Really sort of blend it in. Make not feel so... I love digitals, but when you know, you cut them or you use them, they're just white. They just sort of... You know, looking like an ocean, right? It just keeps going. But we sort of want that end piece. We want it to feel like it ends. Like it has a border, that it has a start and stop point, and I think that's what distressing sometimes helps does. Makes it feel like it's right here and not just this contemporary modern off to no man's land stopping point. We want it to stop. We want it to feel like it belongs right here. And inking it just right sort of helps mimic some of the brown over here. We can sort of do the same thing over here with the ink. So that's why I do a lot of fun things around the edges of paper, so you don't feel like you have to do a lot of inking. Once you cut off the white, you sort of are right there. So there we go. Not too shabby. See how the back side is. There's a few spots, but nothing too strenuous here. Okay, now the fun part will be seeing if we can get any ink on this end. I doubt it'll stay much, so I won't worry about it too much. But we'll try to do a little bit on this end, just to sort of blend it all together. It might come off. We'll see. It is because it is glossy. You can always do it and then take a light paper, like Kleenex or something, and just slightly wipe across it so there's not too much excess. But it would give you what you want. So, definitely pink. So we'll see what this one ends up with, how much pink. This one may not end up with as much pink on it. So I'm thinking the pink one's going to go on this one, but we'll see. Voila. But see, we have all of this to enhance and add to. We have this huge chunk right here to find a way to enhance, right? Which stickles and stuff down here, a little bit of a flatter pink lace down here would totally be okay to work with. Okay, now, so Yes, I inked it. Sort of not useless because you're like, well, but it's more like now we know that the edges sort of have all that ink that it needs. Whoops. Okay, so what's left though that we have to keep in mind is the fact that I'm prepping the next ordeal here. Is that we do have spots that didn't quite get enough glue stick, and so we just have to do this. The joy of glitter glue. Sometimes the biggest thing I love about glitter glue is a tiny little neck on it to make sure, yes, okay, I can get in between papers without worry. Okay, there's that. Okay, we'll do that part in a second. So now, second one. Same ordeal, right? We're gonna do the sort of the same thing. So we're just gonna, again, we're gonna get a little bit of a butterfly and a flower up here. So they have their own similarities, which is great. And I thought they'd just be cute to be sort of a pair, sort of a matching pair inside the pockets of the, on the back there, since we have two sort of matching pockets, sort of reverse of each other. Which so are these, right? We have one has the urn on the left, one has the urn on the right. They both have a little flower and a butterfly. So they're actually going to be super cute. Now they may not get decored the same, and that will help make them a little bit individual, or I may make them very much the same. We'll see. All right, so again, I am. Got you up to. I know you guys get a little weird. I'm up to the light just enough of the light, so I can see where this brown sort of stops, so that I can eyeball this. Well, hi, Roger. I'm going to have all my kitty cats coming in and out apparently today. Hi, honey. Now, Roger usually hides out here because it is usually... Oh, and the house one turned on. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, the house was good. It was at 5 o'clock this morning. It was still 64 degrees. I was really stoked. But now as it's getting, I don't know, the sun's coming up. Surprisingly, it's getting colder. Isn't that funny? Now the heater must be below 62, so the heater in the house went on. Which... well, all kinds of noise. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. I'll give it a few minutes and then I'll probably go in there and turn it off. I usually just let it get up to about 65 degrees and then I turn it off. One shot of 65 and that's it. Usually the fire is going to keep it going after that. But because it's getting into the 70s or 68, 70 degrees during the day, I really don't want to overheat the house. So it's just weird. But it was nice because it was warm yesterday. I was able to open up the doors, so I got to let some more heat in the house. So it did really well last night, so we'll see. But yeah, our PG&E bill goes through the roof, our utility bill, when I have to turn the heater on all the time. So I'm like, well, past couple of days it's just once or twice in the morning. That's it. The rest of the day it's like, oh, find your sweaters and find your blankets. I'm not I'm not doing it. All right, so strip bits and pieces. We'll cut this one off here. I won't pull this apart quite yet because I have a feeling, again, it could be a topper, it could be a belly band, it can be another spot. We have another piece of paper where I'm going to have a strip down the middle, which I thought maybe this would be the one that had the strip down the middle, and we used more than we realized, so not quite the belly band I was expecting. I could clean it up, I could put it on something, I could put lace behind it, we could find another way to make that a belly band, so we'll see. More scraps. But hey, we're going to try to use it all up. I really do want to utilize everything I had to print, because it was supposed to be, hey, let's use up what I did print, and it wasn't enough, so I had to print new ones. I was like, oh, I'm missing this page, or I'm missing that page, and then I don't know what else I did, but something came up. I ended up printing the wrong things on the wrong pages, and I was like, oh man. So yeah, I cleaned it up, or fixed it to where, yes, we had a perfect, ready to go, 15, 16 page journal. And I had single-sided pages. Like, these are all single-sided. Nothing's on the back of these guys. So I'm not wasting any of that. Anything I had already printed double-sided. I think that was the problem. I had everything printed double-sided. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So then I went to fix it, and I ended up with too much paper. So, I don't know. It ended up being almost 2 kits worth of printed. But, hey, we got to cover up the whole folio, right? We're making journal cards. And a full journal was made, prepped and ready. So, like I said, I just want to use all the papers I can. So I have a few scrap papers that are pretty basic. They'll just go in and it'll end up being part of some eclectic journal, like we did with the altered book. that floral collage altered book was definitely, you know, a couple kits put together, a page here and there printed, you know, that I thought, oh, I really want this or that. But it was great because it's 109 pages of collaged digitals and actual collage pages, and you know, it was using up what I had. So that is the joy of, you know, sometimes with the printables, when you have extra pages, you could probably put together another item. I will probably have some blue Victorian kit left over, and some of these pages look really good with it. So, you know, it may be that, yeah, we end up with a really pretty blue Victorian, Jane Austen, you know, sort of Victorian to what is it, Regency themed kit, and our papers to make another journal out of. So you never know. But yeah, I want to make sure I use as much as I can of this paper, so all that print work doesn't go to waste, which was a lot of last year, was trying to use up a lot of my kits that I had been printing over the years. So you guys saw a lot of my work that I did, but yeah, some of those kits were, you know, a little older. That's okay too. Okay, so yeah, I think there's definitely, I don't know, they're pretty even, but I think, well, yeah, we'll do pink on this one, and we will do, okay, I put it back in the pile, didn't I? Oh, there we go, and we'll do that one for that top. All right, because yeah, that looks great. See, we'll put them in the journal just like that. So we can decorate and enhance. We may even put some fake flower. Oh, it would be fun. That one already has sort of a flower in it, so to enhance that with some kind of floral, I do have some pink gathered trim that'd be fun to put, you know, in there, or I use it here and I make my own floral arrangement right out of the urn. That would be actually cute. Ooh, I have some paper flowers and I have some tulle gathered lace trim. I think I have a few left. That would be really cool with. So okay, I got an idea for that. But anyway, let's get this taken care of. So as I was thinking, I was wanting to sort of keep the floral thing here. So I think we're going to glue it down here, and then I'm going to trim it off, and it gives me, I don't know, another strip, but at least it's a useful strip. So, I guess, an idea. If you have, like, scrap, you have a little bit of scrap, what do you want to call it? Sandpaper of some sort. Go ahead and maybe go across. When you have something sort of glossy and you're not really sure, and you know you're covering it, scratch it up a little bit. See, like we do with our nails, right? Usually you have to file that top clear coat off to get the nail polish off sometimes. So, same idea here. Let me just scratch it up a little bit so that we know that on this more glossy side, it is going to stick. It's just a little bit of a gloss. It's nothing big. Something with the right pen, you can still write on it. But sometimes the glue isn't going to stick that well, and especially if you only have a glue stick or glitter glue or something, and you don't have the fabric tack, which, yes, fabric tack would look great, but you still want it to have something to grab onto. I think this is a good way to do it, right? Dust it off, and you've got something to grab onto. But there was something else I was debating on, though. I sort of wanted to do a little bit of a decal on the bottom. I don't know how far over I need to go. That's the thing, is I'm gonna bring it down a little bit to do it. This part of me just doesn't want that straight line. Though I could cover it with a trim or pearls or something, because you're writing on this side, so it's not like I'm putting it on the other side, which we're going to put stuff on the other side too. So hold on, let me think. I guess I'm doing it. Let's take a chance. I didn't want to, because then it would take off my edge, and I'm going to have to sort of eyeball where I think I want to put this on this one, because I wanted to leave that strip across, right? So I need to sort of line this up where I think I want it, and I mean, I'm trying to give myself enough extra to do the decal thing with, because if I don't give myself enough extra, it's going to come up short, and we don't want that. So let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm trying to see. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to depth all down the bottom what's left. Hopefully. So I was trying to leave, this nice strip because we can use it. So I didn't want to cut things off too much. So let's see if we can do a straight shot over here. So I know one or two of you are trying to follow along and make your own variation of this cute little secretarial. And I call it a secretarial folio because it feels like some, as if you were a secretary, you'd have all your notepads and cards and writing tools and the journals there, like as if it was a notebook, and it's something you would put on your desk and you would use, right? So, aha, that works. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of brown though on this one. Even though I love to do the pink, I want it to stick out a little bit to give it a little bit of a shadow. And then once we're done gluing it down, I can have the actual stuff around the rest of it. Anyway, but yeah, so I know if you were looking for papers and deciding what kind of their own version of this folio they want to do. What's everybody else up to? Do we have projects in mind? How are we doing? Have we figured out what direction you want to do, what you want to go in this year? What are we crafting? What are we working on? What are we deciding? See, there we go. It's a little wonky because I think I'm not straight, but I guess I'm gonna have to make it a little bit. There we go. I think that's straight now. See, I think it's straight, and I could cut it and then find out I was fine to begin with, but I'm trying to go off of this basic line, which I'm never great at. There we go. I hope. Fingers crossed, right? But this I'm not gonna worry about keeping. This scrap I'm actually going to throw away. I know, right? It's short. It's not like it's... there we go. Ta-da. Ta-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm working pretty early this morning to do this for you guys. I have errands and appointments and things to do later this afternoon. Hopefully some more product to work on for you guys. We do have a horde of products coming your way in our shop. If you're new to me, we have two Etsy shops. I have a digital shop under a jewel design that lets you get things like this Garden Stroll and the pink vintage Christmas I'll be working on, and so many more things that you've seen if you go back and start binge watching. There's a lot of things I work on are my own digital kits because, like I said, I have printouts that I need to finish up, and I printed them for previewing, I printed them for whatever, and then I have to use them up. And then we have the Design Journal and Supply Etsy shop, as you see here, that has supplies, the handmade items that I make, the handmade items the vintage Laurette Chandler, vintage paper girl make. She is my mother, my counterpartner, my crafty, what is the word? Partner in crafty crime, right? We do all this together. So, she has been a little bit down and out, but she has been crafting every moment she feels good. And so she is finishing up little projects that she has been sitting on for years, months to years, depending, because, we're always working on the next project, right? So she decided, nope, we're going to finish things up. So we have lots of fun things coming into the shop that she has made, whether it's connection of bases, a bunch of bases, things, one-off ephemera sets, journals, everything. So we have to, we're almost there to where we can start getting that into the shop. So that'll be coming. We're all stoked. So keep an eye out on her shop, on her channel. I will mark it down below just in case you are new. I will give a link over to her. And so yeah, she hopefully will do a quick preview on some of the things that we're gonna put up in the shop. And then otherwise you just come look at the shop, and which is listed down below also. There we go. Okay, see, ta-da, easy peasy. Other side. So yeah, we're definitely getting busy. So I don't know whether to just cut. Again, I feel this one is the wrong angle. So this one doesn't match the angle. I have to move over somewhere. So this one, I think we're gonna more match the top a little bit, and we're just gonna trim it. So this one I'm not gonna try to save a bunch for. I'm not gonna save anything. So I'm just gonna decal all the way across the bottom as straight as I can, or as even as I can. Which is, sorry about how loud that is, but you have to really go quick about it, because if you have a very thin layer you're cutting off when you're doing your decal, it really takes quite a bit to get it. As you can see, there's all these little pieces, right? So, alright, I feel like that heater is probably louder than it should be, and hopefully you guys are hearing me okay. So I'm going to turn the heater off inside the house. It'll just take me a second, so I'll pause it and come right back. That way we don't have so much interference in the background, and this is not going to get so hard. Give me one sec. Okay, there we go. Got one layer turned off, and the second layer will be off in a moment. Maybe it won't be so loud. I'm like, okay, so there we go. I'm liking that. Maybe we'll do this to where pretty close to even up there. Hoping it's, of course I'm off every possible way, aren't I? Okay, let's go straight there. And then let's hope that it feels and looks straight everywhere else, right? Sure. Sounds good to me. Look, and I can either trace it, cut it, and glue it back down, or, you know, after all that, right? Oh well, that's fine. I know I line it all up, and then I'm like, well, that's great. Now what am I going to do about it? Here, we'll just put the glue on here. Yeah, I've been trying to find new things to watch, or there's a few things. Oh, there's 911 Nashville, because I really love Lone Star, so I'm sort of stoked. The Nashville one seems to be good so far. I know a lot of the you know, the a couple of the main actors are a pretty big deal. So one came from NCIS LA, and the other one used to be on Grey's Anatomy, and I'm just like, ooh, okay. Took me a moment to place her. I was like, who is that? And then I was like, oh my gosh, she was Arizona on Grey's Anatomy. Okay. So yeah, it was great. But she's looking really good. I was like, oh, I love it. And then an actor who used to be on ER, I believe he was really young back then, played a doctor there, started a new I think it's HBO series called The Pit. Still doctor, except much older, right? A little bit more of a veteran, a little more trauma, you know, but still playing a doctor. So that was, you know, an ER type thing. Yeah, it's trauma, bay, ER, what comes in before it ever goes upstairs kind of deal. So those have been sort of interesting, but yeah, it's my new cup of tea right now. The girls and me are still watching The Rookie, so I was like, yeah, back to all my it's either all, I mean, we used to go through phases. It was all medical, all lawyers, or all, like, yeah, police and sort, yeah, that's all we ever watched. Unless I was watching, like, I call my chick flicks, but. Okay, so there we go. The backs are good. You can write on these. We'll do a little bit of a border decoration, probably right above my, you know, on the top here, and maybe right above a little bit of what's been deckled. But if I don't, at least that's nice and clean and easy to write on. You can put a word up here. You can do whatever you want before you write on it. And then we're going to do ways to, you know, something cluster here. Definitely want to put faux flowers here. And I think that's going to be for a really fun set. So we'll put those in their slots. So I know that we have that covered, right? So there we go. There's one. And we have to, ta-da! Yeah, I decided that it was popping open constantly. And so I do feel like, now we do have to keep in mind that what we put on this side is going to get flattened. So what we put here, we have to want to be sure that it's okay to be flattened out. So like the flower irons I have are okay if they get squished, right? Because this is going to get tied down. So I just made it a bow, glued it down really good, gave you a tail, put this on a foam sticker so it has some weight, some height to it, and you just go whoop. You can tie it around as much as you want, however you want, but it makes a huge difference when dealing with this, having that button down. It really does, because I mean, I was just doing little things, and it was like I could not get to things without it popping open and doing weird stuff. So I am stoked to have it there. Okay. All right, next. Let's see. Okay, these are some fun pieces. These are a little different. We'll go a little different direction this time. I have this, it's already folded, so it's a little temperamental because I can't go outside of it. But I have this strip here that I think will give us 3 pretty even squares that'll be great to tuck in anywhere. So once I cut them, I'm hoping I can put at least 2 over here and a third one over here. And the thing on the bottom is going to be this one, right? We're going to cut this out and put it beautifully right here. And this is left over up here, and I'm going to cover this fun thing. It is a little torn here, which I just realized that. I mean, I could put the glue down on it, ink around it. I don't think it'd be a huge issue. I mean, I could even ink it just to make it more, what's the word, like, authentically feeling more papery, right? I think I just want to put some glue across the top of it and just see if I can flatten out and sort of seal up the potential rip. I think it was glued down on something, but I like the, sort of like the weight of it all, right? So I'm just adding some glue. I know it's sort of weird. And I'm just going across it just to sort of like, I don't know, seal it. I'm creating a little, yeah, see, it's rippling just doing that, which is interesting. Okay, let's see what that does. And if not, then yep, I'm going to be stenciling or something over it to make more sense of it. Because that actually got wet and then actually rippled it more. Interesting. All right. Anyway, again, we'll have to do something to that. But I want to do this one up here. I love the flowers on the bottom of it, so I think it makes a great vertical here. We're going to fussy cut this out and put it on the blue. And this one is just going to go on the a beautiful coloring on this cardstock, like 110 pound. I don't think it's 65. It feels thicker than our usual 65. It's closer to the 8,500 pound cover stock cardstock that I used to use all the time for all kinds of branding. I have a huge ream of this that came from when me and Mom were doing aromatherapy products back when I was in high school, and I still have a huge ream of it. So every so often I pull it out because I love the coloring. It's perfect for this. So I think it's gonna be a great backing, easy to glue onto, and make perfect writing space. But this one I want to use and totally, so again, yeah, I'm going to I'm just going to sand, just sand across it. Yeah, it scratches it up, but you're not going to see it. You're not going to use it, so, I mean, you're using it, but you're not going to see it, so let's just, we're going to get a little easier for it to hold. Off to the side, wipe it off, get all your dust off. Probably should not rub that across my black jeans. Dust on my jeans. Oh, that's alright. They always get something on them. Okay, so we know that there's a little bit here. So what I'm going to do, just so I sort of have an idea of where I need to be doing this, so that I don't under or over, I'm going to cut here. So I know there's that, and I'm going to cut here. This just lets me know where the white is, so I've done that before where I have put it on the edge of the paper forgetting that we are unable, like we do it and then we're like, oh, I have this white here that we haven't cut off yet. And I don't always cut it off ahead of time because I want to know sort of where I stand with things, and I want to be like, nope, I want to make sure we're good. But parts of me is wondering if I'm going to get a cleaner cut if I do. So, hold on. I need it for that bottom one. This one's going to be fussy cut, but let's do this. So, as Gail would say, talk among yourselves. My cutting board is definitely not nearby. I mean, I have the big one, or I have the black one that we slide sometimes, but it's sort of really, really busy when I'm trying to, I already have enough on my plate, so to pick that up and use it is a little much. So I'm going to go over to the side here and do the cutting while I yell at you from here. It's alright. It works. We do what we have to do, right? So hopefully you guys can all hear me better in general now that the heater in the house is off. Well, the heater in the garage, it heats the house, right? Alright, because yeah, I want to do this one and that one. So, I think we're going to cut this one first so I can see exactly how much height I really want for this one. But also keep in mind that I need to try to get 3 other pieces on this one. So, we are definitely utilizing what we have. And I just started looking around to see what I had stocked aside. I had this one folded. I have no idea what it was supposed to be. I think it was potentially going to use it as like a cover, even if a light one, a journal cover. When, you know, sometimes your journal covers are really light and very thin and very flexible. And so I think that was the initial idea. And I just never got to it. So I was like, well, it's just sitting here. There's no point wasting it. I'm getting to that point where I just started looking at my things, like I said during my pre or post organization. It's like, no, I'm going to start going through all my things that are up here, seeing what I need, seeing what I have, using it up. No point sitting on it. What I'll do is we'll also use my corner rounder to help try to match what's already cornered here, which I do realize I have a few small journals and journal cards and stuff that we are making today that I'm going to have to make sure we round the corners so that they slide into their pockets a little better. The pockets might be a little tighter than we realize, right? So we got that going on. Whoopsie, that's all right. But the nice part is I either go back in there and hit it up if it's high enough with some more glue. Ugh. Or I just, you know. So normally don't do this. Usually I border everything, but because we're trying to cover up packaging, not all of it allows me to have that kind of effect and not have something peek through that I can't use, right? So, I mean, it's no different than doing our journal cards. If you have a digital print kit, you know, you cut exactly, right? It's on cardstock, hopefully, or cover stock that's thick enough, and, you know, you're cutting the edges that I provide you with, and you go ahead and, you know, work it. So, it's really not much different. But it is fun sometimes to put something on another piece of paper or something thicker and be able to have a nice pretty border around it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, which way do we want to go about it? Alright, so... Alright, so we've used another piece of packaging. That said happy birthday. I think it was like an AARP and you want this and something that came in the mail. It was junk mail, right? Something that showed up that I was like, well, that's a really good size, which it looks like it is. I think it's going to go in one of our glassine bag pockets. Yeah, I think these three all have sort of the same side and same place that I'm putting them in. Well, no, this one... Nope, this one's going somewhere else. Yeah, I have like... Oh, man, I went back and forth of who's going to go where half the time. Okay, so now I need... Oh, it's sort of fun and not so fun, but there's a number of my supplies that definitely get used on both sides of my craft, right? I use it here in the crafting side, but I also use it in the packing side. There's a lot of things I create for the shops. The packaging, you know, I create my own packaging, right? When we sell products, but what I create for packaging, you guys can use for ephemera, which is great. Everything, more times when you have fabric or lace or trim or whatnot coming to you from us, it's on a journal card. You know, it's on something printed, double-sided, so you will have to put, you know, you may have to put a little bit of writing paper on one side to give yourself a writing space. But we give you stuff that you can use. We try to, if we're going to package it, that you can use all of it, right? You can use the brown paper or the cardstock or the cardboard or, you know, the pretty card that I just handed you. Or I just put it on. So, we really try not to give you too much that you feel like you have to just recycle, right? So, it is the joy that for the price, you're not just getting the product. You're getting a little something extra, let alone, hopefully, a cute little thank you that you can just add to your supplies. Alright, so there's that. We need the brown on these corners. I put the blue on the back, which I think is pretty. But I think we're gonna wanna, as I'm doing this, I'm probably gonna do a pale blue stencil over this a little bit. I have some blue paper. I might have to cover this side up because it is that, and you know, it's sort of in the way. So I do have blue paper, eco dye paper over there, so I'll probably put a rippled piece of blue paper on the back of this one so we can write on it. And this one, definitely, those pretty down here, needs a cluster of something up here for sure. So there's that one. Okay. For the moment. Okay, so we'll put that in its container in a little bit. This one, no, I can't keep going back and forth. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to pull it out, ladies and gentlemen. Had to get my little coffees there. So drinking coffee before having to go to a doctor's appointment, it's not always great, not always the smartest thing. Only because I seem to be a little on edge, and they go, hey, your blood pressure's a little high. I'm like, yeah. I'm fine. I just don't like being here. It's sort of annoying. It's the insurance I have. They want to see me every 3 months to give me my medication. I need thyroid and another pain med for my fibromyalgia. So most things don't change. And if things do, I'll go to the doctor and ask, like, hey, there's something up. I'm used to my first doctor who had no problem seeing me like once a year for an annual, renewing my meds for the 3 months or for the year. She gave me, or put at least a refill on it, so I didn't have to keep coming in every 5 seconds. No, the insurance I have right now will not let me do that. Is it 11? 10? Okay, let's not go by that. Sometimes I don't. These cutters, you just can't tell. So going by centimeters is almost better. So I know that's 27, and divide that by 3, of course, is 9. Perfect, right? 3 and 9 is 27. Yes, I'm like, basic math. Please don't fail me. So we're going to go right here on the 9-inch mark. We're going to line it up down here so I can see what I'm doing. Because it's technically 3.5. Or darn close to that, right? When you trim off your papers, and depending on how it printed, you have these things you have to deal with. So I'm going to go off my centimeters. Don't get me wrong, I couldn't convert to save my life, but it's been fun lately. Almost. Oh, I did it. Sweet. Lately, yeah, I've been using my centimeters for measuring and dividing, because sometimes you just have a bigger number to work with. And so it seems to work better. I don't know why. Okay, so these will definitely all be cornered. And I think we can easily, 2 and 2 and 3, and still have my one down below. So I have a strip down. I won't have a suction up here, but I will have a strip here to play with. I will have these two with one down here. So these become tucks real easy, letting you cluster and collage down the strip to make a really fun belly bands, which that's another thing we could do, since I am collecting some really interesting little scraps, right? These tiny little cutouts. So maybe we'll do a weird cluster collage and make a belly band for inside the journal. I like that idea. All right, that's that. So, all right, these can all go in their corners, and then we can definitely, what's the word? Corner them, and then I have 3 different things to play with. So let's do that. Let's glue them down. That way I can cut that, and then lets me leave this whole box, and I can decide how big. I had to kind of remember where I wanted to put that, so that I can, that last one, so I make sure it's not too big or too small. I have a double-sided one that's going in an envelope pocket for sure, which we can work on also. Probably not. I don't know if we'll get to that one. I think the last one's pretty simple. Oops, other way. And I'm really just using a packaging to make the card thicker. I was hoping to, it's funny, you use the 65-pound cardstock, and it's a cute little journal card. It works well enough. And if you back it, doing like an instant back thing, where you fold it in half so that both sides are already pre-printed and you have to run it through the printer again, then you have a really thick card, right? The 65 becomes, 130-pound cardstock all of a sudden, because now you have 2. And it, works really well. But 2 32-pound papers is only 64, which is a little thinner than a cardstock, and it just doesn't feel enough. There's something about the weight and how this is weaved probably together to make it a heavier paper. How it's created, that it just feels thicker. So I had 2 pieces of paper, yes, and I could glue them together, but I don't think it's going to be thick enough. And I'm afraid it's going to be too flimsy when you pull it out or for me to decorate it. And so I'm, want to make sure. So I have one piece of packaging that, both sides would take too much to cover, or too much to try to make it work. So it's just easier to cover both sides. I'm going to get these pretty close so that when I cut them, I'm just trimming off a little bit and I'm not doing a whole lot of work. There we go. Really should be using, instead of my hand, I should be using my, right? Sort of helps, one, it helps sort of make sure everything is pressed down, and it also helps remove the residue at the same time. Oh, my little guy's down to a square. We sell them as a slight rectangle, but I'm like, yeah, over time. I have definitely worn mine down. All right, but I'm noticing, I'm like, wait, I can totally like squeegee and squish and like push everything down and wipe off the glue at the same time. Right? Who knew? Okay, so the last one on this paper was this guy right here, which is perfect. I mean, I guess I could put it down, and then if I needed to trim, I do have enough space to trim it here. Because I don't remember. So this, I was thinking on this one. I've got the blue one in the back. I have one for here already, so where was I going to put that? I don't remember. Well, interesting. Because that ended up bigger than I expected. Maybe that was supposed to go in here, and I went bigger. But we're going to have one of these, easily. One of these can go in here, which is great. I did this. I covered that as a writing space, sort of. And this one here is going to take this guy, because it needs to be thin. This is a very thin pocket. And since it's a thinner index card, it's more of an index sheet than a full card, like a hard card. Like, we're going to trim it, and it's going to just fit in there. And that with a single and the rounded corners. So, okay. Because this one is going to be, or was going to be. See, I was going to do that one too, which is another huge card. I have some really big pieces, and I don't know where they're all going to go. Oh, this one was going to go in the far back. I know this one could go in the far back. This one is going to have a reading list journal card in the back. That one is going to go in the back. That one is going to go here. I had this one here. This one is the one that's going to be both pink on one side and the journal on the other, and it was going to fit in here. So I believe this fits beautifully. And because it is an envelope, there's a little bit more room for that kind of weight. So that's the one I'm like, two pieces by themselves just feel really thin. And being the fact that that is the main sort of like, I feel like it's the weight of the thing to keep this all together. Something sort of stout in here would be a good idea. So here I have a journal card that I'm creating that I don't even know where I'm going to put. It might be a secondary that ends up in the front. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what size then. Or, you know what, or it could be, it's going to be that larger piece. This actually could be a great one. I'm trying to think. I know I'm putting 2 different sets of lace pockets in the journal, which means this would be a little thin, be a little short. I'll make it, and then I'll trim it down to match whatever pocket it needs to be. I hate to put them in sideways, but, you know, it's not a bad thing either. This one is just going to use some lace on the top, or it looks like down the side one way or another. So, okay, we're just going to, I think I got one too many going. Oh, gasp. Which, not really. There's always some space that you find out you make a pocket, and you're like, why don't I have a journal card for that, right? So, let's see. I'm going to, because I'm going to have to trim it, I hate to do the decal thing and then find out, but I'd really like one that was more, what do you want to call it? A little bit more bordered with the blue ink, which would be really pretty. I have the green sage too, but I think that speckled egg has a really pretty tealy blue color to it, so I think it does well. But if I do this right, and I do this, I think, baby boy, what's wrong? Oh, do you want to go out? I think he wants to go outside, and that's why he's getting antsy with me. Huh, okay, hold on. Let's get a little bit of the blue out of the way, as much as I love the brown that I love. Okay, come on. You guys are not making it easy for me to do my job. Come on. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's why it's a Saturday morning. Come on, get down carefully. Which way are you going? He's also the one that knocked over my TV, trying to do the same thing. He went for my work area. Go outside, baby boy. Which of course had a cutting board And God knows while I was on it, he tried to jump off the table, to come over to my side bar here that has all my supplies. And of course, in the process of doing it, knocks over the table. Knocks over the TV. Because he missed. He goes to kick off, and everything slides out from underneath him. And, jeez, poor guy. It ends up, sliding, which means he doesn't have the footing he wants. So he goes for this tiny little space that they all like to jump up at. They see this tiny little area that they feel like a foothold on. But they really end up jumping up onto boxes of supplies. And, the supplies are fine, but it's where he jumped off of that he lost his footing. Doesn't quite make it over where he wants to. Bumps into the TV and everything else, and the TV comes crashing down. I'm like, oh my gosh, just shatters it. I'm like, ugh. So I haven't replaced it. Because, yeah, I keep watching them jump up in the same area. I'd have to completely block stuff so they don't see that opportunity. But, yeah. All right, so we did brown where it was brown. We did blue where it was blue. I can't help myself. Let's do the blue on the first two edges, at least, where we're going to be doing this. All right. And yeah, we're going to do what I want to do, and then we're going to trim it. This one will border a little bit. Hopefully it makes it just small enough. And hope I don't have to keep trimming right at the edge of everything, right? A little bit of that blue, cut it here. Oh no, that's not straight. Why is nothing ever straight? There we go. Ish. And then, yeah, we'll just cut it, and, it just is what it is. And if I have to trim this down a little bit to get it really tight to the edge, then I will. Then I'm just going to make the right pocket, correct? There is probably room in one more spot if I had to make a pocket. Is the inside of this one. I don't have anything going right here. See, I have nothing here. So I could put a pocket here and put this one in there, though it matches that page, which is sort of funny, right? But I was debating on putting, lace pockets in like here where there's it's darker and a little harder to write on. And I have the same thing I have a piece in the back. And so I have two different laces that I want to put on things. Like here is really pale. So put a cream. I have this lace, which would be, I think, really pretty up against it, to make a shallower pocket for a journal card, right? And then I have our slightly wider one. That the yellow one came from my mom, so that one's not in the shop. But this one is. This is a 3 1/4 lace. It's absolutely gorgeous. So when you do it just right, this would be perfect. And we just have to get that card in it. So I definitely want to do 2 sets of lace pockets in here to put journal cards in, and then we'll see what kind of ephemera I made for this kit. The Garden Stroll kit is something I definitely made in the first year or so, back in 2020 and 2021. Probably 2021, because I started in March, but didn't start selling things till June or July, and had a few things, but so this is probably 2021 that I made this kit. I can't believe how long ago that was already, right? So, okay, but if I got whatever, I could find more. I have blue border lace, European border lace in the French blue. That might be pretty in here, or I use the blush pink that we have. And I could put, another pocket on the inside of this cover if I actually ended up with excess ephemera just to tuck in. I have another spot to make another pocket. Gasp, I need another pocket. I did actually close up a pocket. Who knew, right? I had another pocket in those glassine bags that you see on that one thing that we're putting some of this stuff into. And I had a back pocket in the top bag with the gold dots on it. I had one more pocket on the top. And when I went to go decorate, the tab, I put down lace and pearl trim and closed up a portion of it. And I went, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Whoops. So I closed it. I was like, well, it's sort of hard to get into anyway. It's fine. It's one less journal card I have to make, or journal tag. Tall pockets sometimes are really great to put, or big pockets are great to put really large tags, because it sticks out a little bit. You can decorate it so you sort of see it and you can pull it out, but it doesn't have to be, this big thing. And so it's sort of nice to have them, but that is not straight. Ooh, why did that surprise me? Well, we're going to try to go straight and hope for the best, right? Okay. Yeah, I love when I think it is. Well, you try to cut things straight with a deco cutter, but I'm not always, don't always feel we're getting that. So I'm not going to perfectly straighten this out right now because I know that, oh, I can't do that. Right, don't you hate that? Hold on. Well, you have to do something somewhere. You have to straighten it out. You have to square it off. You just have to. You find the straightest edge you have, and you cut the rest. You cut the rest to match, because what else are you going to do? Oh. But each one is better than the next. There we go. Okay. Even though what I glued down might not perfectly be straight on it, the thing itself is squared off. So once we know what's going on. Now this one is definitely because I didn't square it off here. And unless I lift all the corners, isn't cornered. I don't like cornering stuff when I do borders. It sort of bugs me. I don't mind rounding here and leaving a square on the outside, but I don't like sometimes rounding the outsides when this is not rounded to go with it. It's my little anal retentive issue. And so I feel like both have to be rounded, or this can be rounded, but this can be square. But I don't like rounding here unless this is, I mean, this would have to be perfectly aligned inside it to feel like the rounded square isn't encroaching on the perfect 90-degree angle, right? Don't we all have those little tweaks? Like we all have something where we just, pet peeves that you just can't deal with. I don't mind square journal cards, but like, it's one of her signatures. Laurette, I think, has almost all of her journal cards, even some of her bottom of her tags, always rounded. And they always look gorgeous. They look beautiful. It works, right? But some designs I have feel shouldn't be rounded. So, you know, I just like, it's weird. We all have our little things. Okay, so there we go. We know that that's going to go inside somewhere, because right now I can tell you it's too big for the cover. So, yes, I'm probably going to have to cut it really tight to what I did, and maybe we'll square it off to what I designed. But I do love it. I wish I could keep the border, so we'll see, right? I won't ink the back until I know for sure. I don't want to waste the ink. But I do love this color on these. Oh my gosh, guys. That's really pretty. I might put some of that in the shop. I didn't think about that. I have, like I said, I have a huge 500 stack of this beautiful cardstock. It is cover stock, or maybe full cardstock. I'll look to see what it is. If it is an 85 to 110 pound, it is a marbled blue, pale mint, not mint, but it's like a pale teal, you know, blue. It's really fun to work with. It's great, you know, weight. So I might put that. We have it. Maybe I'll put, guys, let me know if you would want it. What would you want? A 10 count, 20 count, 5 count? Like, how much would you want to have? I would think at least a 10, because you saw, I mean, I got 4 out of 1 piece in different sizes, and isn't that fun? But it's a great, if you do a lot of blues and teals in your journals, it's really good paper to have. So, hey, I'll do that. We'll put some of that in the shop. Might as well. We bought it 30 years ago. We've had it for some time. So we might as well put it to good use, right? Let's share it. Since I'm not getting through it, let's share it. I will put some in the shop. But yes, if you are watching to this point and you hear me, let me know. How much would you want? If you just want a sample of it, 10 sounds like enough. I think we do 10 for most papers. When I do printed vellum for you guys, when I do a number of things, I think we at least do 10. You know, I do 10 to 12 pieces of paper for you guys, whether it's printed or whatever. So, yeah, I would do a 10 count. We do the printed vellum. I don't see why we couldn't do this fun cardstock. But in the listing, it'll tell you what weight, you know, pound it is. Unless you have a laser printer where you do it does a flat print job. Most everyday office jet, or not, oh yeah, even office jet, desk jet, whatever you want to call them, HP printers do not do well with this anymore. That's why we've gone down to the 65 pound cardstock for most of us, with a standard printer that has to roll through to print. The printer heads just don't like the thicker paper anymore. It catches it wrong all the way, you know, every way to Sunday. So we've had to go to that thinner cardstock. But this is great to do what I'm doing right now. To back things with, it gives you a marble, it's light and easy. you can do, oh, we're going to do a couple different things with it, right? We're going to have some fun with it. So we will put that in the shop. Give me a day or two, and I will get that in. Probably by the end of, for me, it's Friday. So hopefully by the end of Friday. So hopefully I can get this in before this video shows. So if so, I will put the link down below. I will do everything I can to get it in the shop and in the link, so you guys like the color. You use a lot of pale teals, a lot of teals and blues in your work. This would be a wonderful paper to have, right? When you can't print in the back, you have excess paper, you have to do a lot of clusters or collaging. This would be great because you could collage on the other side and not have to do anything on this side. I think that's what I love the most, is when the backing has enough texture and I don't know, personality to it, that I don't have to do anything to it, right? I just have it on the decor in the front, and I am ready to go, and we can all use this, right? Not even have to worry about it. So there we go. Oh, why not? I'm stoked about this idea. Here we go. Get this cut. There we go. And again, I am cutting whatever I cut here, so I am making the background match the cutout. And I will round these in a second. Okay, so a little bit of a tweaking, but it's so cute the way it is. Yeah. How long do we need? Oh, we need almost the whole width. Okay. So yeah, let's we'll cut that off and put it aside. We're gonna, I'm not cutting that off. Something tells me I can have fun with this and maybe be able to tab this in some way and have it cluster. So maybe we could tab it into a page, cluster, and it's something that sort of opens up. So I'm not going to get rid of that quite yet. I see something and I'm like, let's see if we can utilize that. If I can't, no big deal, I'll cut it off. But you never know. I like having fun things to do different stuff with, right? When you can put it into a fold and have fun with it. All right, so I know I'm totally inking it, and then I'm going to be cornering it, but it's great to just ink it all, corner it, and then just touch up your corners. So much easier than, I don't know. Now this one could have been brown. I could have done it, but because of the blue paper, I'm keeping to the blue oxide, you know, speckled egg for the accent. Because even this one, it just looks like the blue's poking through like it's supposed to, which is great. So, and this gives a beautiful, speckled egg gives a beautiful shadow to the cardstock. So yes, I will make it my mission today to get this listing up, so that when you see this tomorrow on Saturday, on your Saturday or your weekend, the listing will be down below in the description, and you can find it. Otherwise, I will also put it in the feature categories, one of the first categories you see in the shop, in the front, so you can see it right away. Also, you'll see a fan of blue paper. How's that? Okay, what are we at? I think one more thing I want to do with you guys. I'm hoping it's not getting too late. And I'm just using the 1/4 inch. I do. God, that's what I find. I will use the 1/2 inch, and a lot of the journal cards I do for you guys with for your packaging, especially the larger ones. I will do the 1/2 inch, especially when you're doing your samples and things like that, and you're getting a larger chunk of stuff from us. That I do use the 1/2 inch, but these little guys, ta-da! Real easy, right? Hit up all the corners. Da-da-da. I know I'm getting all the corners. I'm like, am I missing some? Oh, probably. That's all right. These are not done. We know we're still going to do some, you know, designing, decorating and stuff. So I will always double check my stuff. But there we go. These 3 can go in just about anywhere. We have one spot for sure that is sitting in a pocket. So, and the other 2 will probably go in the journal. And that's okay. But these are ready to go. All I have to do is decorate with whatever fussy cuts I come up with. Whatever I find in my digital, I'll see what I have, and I may be able to, you know, easily decorate these and tuck them in. So there we go. There's that. So the last one I want to do with you, because this is pretty easy. Again, this one probably will cut it off across the top here, or really shallow, right? For the back pocket, it's the same thing we did with the other one. Again, this on the back, slight tag, because it's going to go in that back pocket. She's beautiful, so this is something we just cover with lace and fun things. Because it's getting tucked so low, though, it's probably all going to be at the top here. Will be lace and pretties that are sticking out. And this one is an urn on one side and the pink on the other. Really for a great just writing space. with a little bit of decor. Again, I'm able to put a little bit of floral, something flat here, or lace trim to enhance the fact that there is a flower urn right here. But the goal is to be able to write on this backside pink and tuck it into that one pink envelope. So these are pretty much a repeat of what we've been doing. So I guess the next one will be decorating. Maybe. Or I'll do a bunch of shorts with decorating on it. But last one. Sorry. I want to do, what are we at? Oh, an hour. Are we an hour and 15? Ooh, okay. Well, it's not a retreat. That's my mama's thing, but we are doing it. Okay, so what I want to do for this one, and we have to measure it to make sure it fits inside the pocket. So yeah, the girls are going to go in here. They have that beigey brown. This one, I want to go in the pocket behind. There's a pocket. Yeah, there's supposed to be one more pocket way back here, and I accidentally glued it down. So, all right. So this is going to be the big brown one that we were just looking at. This one has a pocket right here, right? Just enough to put a bookmark-like pocket here, and I have this one here. This probably should have been a little shorter, but that's okay. And then there is this little one you see here in the front. So when you pull it out, you actually have a continuous page. So there's a little thumb notch to let you know, hey, there's a little piece of paper right here. But, okay, so this one, I didn't want to go way up, but I didn't want to get rid of the word reading list. This is a Garden Stroll that had the Jane Austen type theme. It's the windows and the gardens and the benches and it definitely had our writers, inspiration when this is not even the Jane Austen inspired one, but this is what started that concept. And so a reading list makes sense because all of her characters read, right? So I don't want it to go too far up. And so I'm about here, which means I am definitely coming up short. So we need to go about there. Okay. So I was trying to figure out where I needed to cut it. But these are, we had a 2025 reading list that we found, which of course, I sold out, they sold out. They did come out with the new 2026, so I did put that back up in the shop. But they're beautiful. They're semi-glossed. They're all these really yummy colors. But we really loved it, and some people cannot, we don't sell outside the U.S., so we had people who were like, well, we really love it, we can't get a hold of it, what can we do? So I scanned it. I scanned the colors in so that I could get the proper tones, but then we relaid out the look with the things that we did and didn't like. We took out the date, so you didn't have to worry about that. We gave you a backing. I have a green backing for these guys compared to the matching color, because I can't. There's no way I could give it to you guys where you could line it up for sure, knowing you could put the pink on the pink, the green on the green, the blue on the blue. Not possible. Too much work for any one person, including myself. I don't even want to do it. And so we did all these cute little things so that, and remove some stars or things that were like, not quite our cup of tea. Now this will make a great, actually, topper to something later. I feel like we could totally add this into something. So we won't get rid of it, especially because it's a really beautiful darker blue, darker teal to this kit. I mean, really, it does pull up the darker tones. So that's why I'm using it. Loving it. Yeah, so there was people in the UK and other places who just, can't get a hold of these cards, these reading cards, these bookmarks. And so I did 2 sets of digitals to help with that. So we get 6 colors of this, 6 different colors, and then we did the book due date. And again, there's 6 colors of these, and these are yummy. These I did not scan in. I went ahead and did my own marble version of similar colors. Again, gave you a background. It's a little dark on the background. I don't know if I lightened it or not. But these, again, they're colored on both sides, all that jazz. So really nice, good black pen, and you can do amazing things. But in the digital side, the Jewel Design digital side shop, the shop on that side, there are bookmark journal cards that you can print on your own paper. This is on a simple 65-pound cardstock, right? But we're going to layer it up, and it's going to be all good. But I thought it was a beautiful color for some contrast. I wanted to make sure that, oh yeah, perfect. Now, with this, good, you can still see it. So I like to vary things to the left and the right, so that you can see them. So I'm loving that. Okay, well, that can go back in there, nice and firm. That's a little thinner, which is good because it is gets a little thick after a while, so we don't want to bulk it up too badly. But what I want to do is then, which is perfect. Oh, I love it. We're gonna fussy cut the pretties out of here and lay them down over this. So you see a little bit of the reading list behind it, but really it's the backing, again, that gives you the ability to write on it. I have the green, but I don't know if it would show up. Green might not show up. And I have all my colors out, ladies. I've got the green, I've got the blue, I got the pink, I got my mint. I don't have my purple out right now. That's the only thing I don't have there, because there is really no lavender in this one. This is pink, teal, you know, blue, and the beigey, you know, sort of antique brown. I hate that doesn't stick. No, the green works nicely, actually. Nice. This is the bound sage, and actually gives a nice little shadow effect on the background of the green. The green background that I gave you, this marbled thing, or speckled. It's like a speckled linen feel. That I gave you for the backing of these reading lists. I thought the green was a fun color. I said, why not, right? Okay, so let's do this. But I really appreciate you all joining me today as we did this lovely hint of, I am going to tweak this a little bit, of ephemera making today. We are, you know, I didn't have it printed, so I decided we were going to use what we had, and I knew I had plenty, and I mean plenty of packaging that was just the right cardstock, just the right weight to make some very substantial bits of ephemera to go into the more, you know. Now, as much as I love this, I don't know if I want all that blue behind it. So I think I'm gonna hunt and peck with it. I'm gonna decide what parts I'm keeping and what I'm not. Which is the joy. We layer these up, and then you take the most solid path here when you're cutting out what you want. Like, what makes sense, what looks good to you, what you can handle. As much as I would love it, I think I'll try to keep it up here to a point. I'll keep a little bit of it where I feel it's more solid in the pink. There's not so much blue showing through. Sort of ruins the effect when you can see a bunch of background, right? There we go. But I appreciate you coming along and making ephemera with me this morning on this beautiful Saturday. It could be Sunday for you. Whatever day you finally do get to see it, but it's a lovely Sunday morning, or Saturday morning. Could be your Sunday morning, you know, maybe it came up on you this morning and you're like, oh, we don't have time today, but I will see you tomorrow. And that's okay too. All right, so I do realize that I want to go to the edge of this. So I'm probably going to have to cut out that. I want to keep the house part if I can. So let's see. Knowing that's the case, I'm going to, again, find the most solid path. The images that are the most solid and not so whimsical. And cut up out and around to that so that it looks as natural as possible and not so hit and miss, right? So there we go. I think what I do is I'm going to bring it over just a little. I might have to trim off a little bit of the edge, but that's okay. Ta-da. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. Oh, okay, now what color do I... what color? So we're going to do a little bit like I did earlier. We're going to do a little bit of everything. I'm going to... blue where I feel we get with blue, a little bit of brown when we need to, and pink where we don't. Like, I'm going to have to feel like I need to do a number of different things. I want it to have that shadow. I want it to sort of stick out, but I don't want it to, you know, I don't know. I'm coloring it according to what it needs. How's that? Beiges are getting one thing, greens are going to get, I'm going to have a little green up here, and we have the pink for sure. We're gonna enhance the edges to remove the white that I did or didn't cut off in the paper and help shadow and give dimension wherever we can, right? A little bit of mix down here is okay. All right, not a big thing. It's almost not noticeable, but we are gonna do, let's see, let's try, since we have so many little pieces, we're going to do more of a glitter glue so I can get into all these little crevices. You can do it with a glue stick, but you take a chance of sometimes catching the edges and ripping things because you're running it across. So it's, to get all these little pieces, sometimes it's just easier to do the glitter glue. Now, the only downside is I knew we were cutting some of this off, so I don't know how tight to get it. Get pretty close to this one edge, but I'm not going to go all the way over. I just don't want to deal with all the glue. Of course, everything in between. But I hope you enjoyed this. That, you know, pretty simple if you're new. It's, you know, it's all about using up what you have and making the most of it. Of course, if you've been at this for a while, we know what we're doing. It's so fun to sit and do this together. And all these little things that I'm like, hey, try this. Hey, try that. That's what I'm here to do or hope for. Bring it down to the bottom. Make sure we line it up there. The rest just goes down. So pretty much, again, I'm doing both wiping it out, wiping it down, and getting rid of the glue with my residual L at the same time. All right, there's that. Oh, I really love that. Oh my gosh, do I love that. I thought it'd be pretty. I knew we had a good chance of it being pretty cool, but I wasn't sure exactly how good. Like, I wasn't sure exactly how good it was going to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I bet you I have to go here soon. I can't help it. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't want to go anywhere else. Don't make me. Can't I just stay here? But I'm hoping, yeah, it's going to be 1 of 2 days. I'm going to be working on products for you guys. Or I'm going to be doing more videos. So one or the other. It's going to be a good day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. I hope everything is working out well. Let me find my corner right here, and then I will lay it all out. We'll lay out all the pieces we worked on today. Oh my goodness, everything that's going on, right? All right, 1/4 inch. Make sure, and you can go across all of them if you need to make sure everything is rounded out nicely, because you are cutting these by hand. And they are pretty close, yeah, so they are really close to your 1/4 if you use the We Are Crocodile. It is, my digital is very close to that 1/4 inch, or that 1/4 size, so that's good to know, right? A little bit of blue across this end, just to touch it up. There is a little bit of that glue, but that's all right. We can always do some deckling. All right, there we go. See, now you used a little bit of stencil, stickle, lace up the side, the bottom. I mean, it's a really super easy thing to do, right? So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a number of things we put together today. Look, all these little bits and pieces, all using our background pages, right? All using packaging from all of our favorite things, extra cardstock that you may have lying around, printouts, and just easily decorating them out by adding a layer and fussy cutting and using up papers that I had left over. Really, that simple, right? See, simple packaging. And look, we have all these lovely pieces that we've got going, and so much more to come. So thank you all so much for coming along today, crafting with me, chatting with me, and helping me getting back into my groove. I guess if I actually get up in the morning, it's amazing what you can get accomplished, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, love you all very much. Thank you so much. Like, love, comment, notifications, subscribe. Make sure you're aware of what's going on, because you never know. And we'll be back on Tuesday with, I don't know what yet. Maybe it's decorating these, right? Truly lace and bling and pearls, oh my. And we'll get them all decorated out. But in the meantime, I will make sure that I have those bits and pieces we need in the journal, so we know what other pockets we need to fill, and we'll keep going. So I will make sure I have plenty of ephemera for us to decorate on, say, Tuesday, and then I'll leave you be with this journal. I know we do some things back to back to back, but it's on my desk and I need to get it done. So that's what we're going to do, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So love you all very much. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it's lovely, warm, and cozy, and we'll talk all real soon. Bye-bye.